All right, so now with 2023 over and starting a brand new year, now's a good time to really look back on the past 12 months as a tech consumer with everything I purchased. What are some things that I regret buying, some things that I purchased and really have only been sitting in a drawer and haven't really gotten much use out of? And I thought I'd share that with you guys so you guys can see out of everything I've purchased, everything I've reviewed, what are some things that I didn't really like, some things that I don't use anymore. And that way you guys can see from everything that I've reviewed in the past year, what are some things that might be a good chance to skip out on, especially now after the holidays. If you receive some holiday money and you're still looking on where to spend that, this is a good video on things that you should avoid for very specific reasons. And I split some of these out into 3 categories for the main things that I haven't used, and the first one being iPhones. Now, I use an iPhone all the way up through October, which is where I made the switch to my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. But come November, I really was missing my Apple Watch Ultra. Whenever I was using my Garmin, I really was looking at watchOS 10 features, which kind of released a lot of really good features for cycling, using your phone as a cycling computer and things like that, which me as someone that cycle commutes to work, I really thought that was a great feature. So I wanted to kind of get into that. I purchased the iPhone SE from 2020 along with the Apple Watch Ultra, and I kind of use that as my server space. The iPhone kind of received all of the iMessages, and through AirMessage, I was able to still use my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 for messaging, and then I still got the Apple Watch Ultra features. But then in November, when Apple released that Mac event and they said that they shot everything on the 15 Pro, I bought into the hype of having that ProRes log. So I went and upgraded to the 15 Pro. And now, unfortunately, even the 15 Pro doesn't really get much use. I am still going to be keeping the iPhone 15 Pro for whenever I want to go to iOS, whenever I want to try that back out. Now I have kind of the best of both worlds. I have a Samsung or an Android experience as well as an iOS experience. And I also use the 15 Pro paired with the Backbone for PS Remote Play, for playing Apple Arcade and really any other games on there. I do have other reviews coming for the Backbone and also comparing it to the PlayStation Portal as to which one is the best PlayStation Remote Player. So make sure you guys get subscribed to not miss those future videos. And then the Apple Watch Ultra, I'm also keeping it again for having the iOS thing, but the Apple Watch Ultra actually falls into the second category, which is my smartwatches that I regret purchasing. The Apple Watch Ultra, just like I mentioned, now that I am no longer dual carrying, I have no longer need for the Apple Watch Ultra, and it's really unfortunate that it's not cross-platform, so I can't use it with my Android compared to something like the Garmin, which even though I'm keeping the Apple Watch Ultra, I might not go back to it just because the Garmin does still work with iOS. So if I ever decide to leave Android back to iOS, I can use this same exact watch. And then the second smartwatch that I no longer need is the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6, which actually came at a pretty huge discount with my Z Fold 5, and that's actually why I purchased it. I haven't used a Samsung wearable since the Galaxy Sport back in like 2019. So I got the Watch 6 to see kind of what were the new updates, how does it work, and unfortunately I really didn't like it. It was really laggy. There was times in workouts when there was a stopwatch, it would skip, it would go like 7, 9, 10, and then skip another 2 to 12, and that was really annoying, as well as it being a little bit laggy. And then it also didn't connect to my Cannondale app, which I use to track how many miles I have on my bike. So that was really unfortunate, and that's what made me kind of go for something third party like this Garmin. And then the third category that I want to talk about is going to be mechanical keyboards. And even though I don't regret using or purchasing mechanical keyboards, I do regret how many I bought. Now, as someone that started using mechanical keyboards in 2022, it quickly snowballed in 2023, and I ended up buying over 10 keyboards in 2023. And now I don't really use any of them. Not any of them. I don't really use many of them, is what I meant to say. The main 2 that I use now are the Mode Envoy, which I have on my desk here. That is my linear switch keyboard. And then I do have the Bakken Echo back up there, another 65%, and that one has my tactile switches. And then I have a very low profile keyboard, which is the MX Keys. I didn't really like using the Newfie Air 75, Even though it's a low profile mechanical keyboard, I didn't really like the sound. It sounded very hollow. And then it was still a mechanical keyboard that was taller than something like the MX keys. So I did go back to a scissor switch keyboard. And I switched mainly between these three keyboards. I do have another three that have just been sitting in a drawer, so those will 100% be listed. I've already gotten rid of another 4 different keyboards that I ended up selling on OfferUp because I wasn't really using them. They were just sitting in a in a drawer, so I had to get rid of them as well. And I am not knocking the keyboard community at all. I do still really like using mechanical keyboards. I just don't work from home every single day of the week, and I don't spend much time on my computer, believe it or not. Even though I do write these scripts on my computer and I edit all of this on the computer, that's still maybe 15 hours out of the week that I use the computer for it. And then even then, all of those 15 hours, that's way more than enough time to cycle between these three, and I don't have the time to be cycling between everything else. And then on top of that, if you're someone boring like myself, you like very monochrome setups. Even look at my keyboards now. You have a white one, you have a black one, and then another white one. They all look the same. So whenever I purchase all of the other mechanical keyboards, my mind went to one aesthetic and one aesthetic only, and it was either all white or all black, and they ended up all looking the same and ultimately even sounding the same to some degree, because you kind of get used to that sound profile and you want them all to sound the same. And then it just became kind of pointless to have all these keyboards where when you switch between one and the next, it didn't really change anything other than you just have another keyboard on the desk. So because of that, I will be getting rid of all the other extra ones that are in a drawer right now. But that isn't to say that I won't be purchasing mechanical keyboards anymore. I've already seen a couple more low profile ones. I think that's the next step for me to kind of replace, is to get rid of the MX keys and find a low profile mechanical keyboard that I really like. But until then, I'm only going to cycle between these three. And if I ever were to purchase another mechanical keyboard, it'll have to swap out with one of the ones I currently have. But those are the 3 main categories of devices that I regret purchasing, stuff that I no longer use. There's still a bunch of stuff that I do like and I will be keeping probably for the next few years. Maybe I'll make a video on tech I actually recommend purchasing in 2024. Let me know down in the comments if that's a video that you are interested in. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Click here to watch another one of my videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one.